Yes, YouTube, I hope that you're okay. It's Ben Hawksuff at The Coach Consultant, and today I'm going to be talking about building your empire. This should be the end goal for everyone. There's no point in going into business if you don't have that mindset of thinking, I'm building my own empire. I'm going to get financial freedom. I'm going to have unlimited freedom. I'm going to have everything that I ever wanted in life. But what people forget is really, really hard to build your own empire. It's even harder to actually maintain it. And then on top of that, protecting it is a completely different story. And it's not hard in terms of just business strategies. Once you know what to do in terms of content, offering structure, acquisition, sales and scaling, that's not actually that difficult. The difficult part is actually you. And people forget that this all comes back down to you having your own house in order first. So that's what I'm going to be covering today. How can we make sure that you are the empire first so that you can build everything after that? Right, so as an initial starting point, I want to set the tone a little bit for what we're going to be talking about in this video, right? If you do not take what I'm talking about seriously, this is what you're going to end up with. This is how you're going to feel. This is how you're going to weather in the storm, and this is how much stability that you're going to have, right? If you take what I'm talking about seriously in this video, this is potentially what you are going to have long term, right? That's how serious this stuff is, and trust me, I've experienced all of this firsthand. When I've operated like a little shanty shack, right, I've not done very well. When I've operated like I'm running an empire, completely different altogether. And this all starts with your behavior and your actions and having awareness and understanding for all the factors that I'm going to be covering later on in the video. So as a comparison straight away, what have we got, right? On this, for example, there are 0 foundations. On the bottom there, we've got strong foundations clearly, right? Coming onto here, we've got no windows, we've got no structure, we've got no support. Going on to the big castle, big strong walls, windows, everything, right? Just from a visual perspective straight away, you can clearly see that there's a massive difference between the foundational structure, the design structure, the positioning and everything associated with operating like that versus like this, right? And again, this is the end goal. This is what we're wanting to achieve. This is what we want, right? But what I'm going to talk you through in a second is you need to be that first. Before you can build that as a business, before you can build that as a vision, before you can build that as anything, you need to be the foundation. So earlier on in the video, I spoke about you need to get your own house in order first. That's one of my favorite kind of terms in terms of actually having my own accountability. I love Jordan Peterson's where he says, clean your room. His short form message, right? Clean your room means basically, right, organize your own stuff first. Get your own house in order first before you do anything else, because that is the foundations to absolutely everything that you will do. So rather than looking at, right, how do I need to build this, how do I need to do that, how can I put myself under loads and loads of stress, let's look at how you actually need to operate as a person first. How do you need to behave? What type of experiences and emotions are you going to experience? So you've got an expectation and understanding. So when, again, the building does start, the maintaining does start, or a big one, for example, when someone comes in and starts attacking your fort or attacking your castle, you know how to protect it, right? We do not want to be living on a foundation of a shanty shack, like it's terrible, like strong storm that's going to get blown away in a wind, right? Someone attacks that, you've got no protection. This is what we're trying to build, and this is what we need to be before we can actually build it. What does it actually take to build an empire, and what does it take to actually get your own house in order first before even looking at anything else or having an understanding? So I've done this on a house example. So the foundations of what you need to build a house. So we've got foundations, we've got quality materials, insulation, sturdy roof, drainage, windows and ventilation. Before even diving into each individual one, if you removed one of those, you're going to have problems. If you removed foundations and you built a house, for example, on uneven ground, your house might fall down, it might break down. If it's on an earthquake territory, shaking, bang, damage straight away. If you've not got quality materials, then this is going to get weathered over time. If you've not got insulation, when it gets high pressure, you're going to get cold. If it's not got a sturdy roof, then obviously you're going to get rain and you're going to get damage inside. If it's not got drainage, then you're going to be keeping all the rubbish or whatever you may call it inside the house. If you've not got windows and you can't actually see externally, and if you haven't got ventilation, then again, you're not going to be able to breathe. So as you can basically see, all of these need to work together. If you're missing one of those areas, then you're going to be at a loss straight away. So you might think at this point in the video, what the hell has this got to do with me as a person or building my empire? It's got absolutely everything to do with it. So as a first starting point, the foundations to who you are as a person are going to come from your values, your beliefs and your core principles. You may be at a point right now where your values are evolving, they are adapting, and they are changing, and that's absolutely fine, because that's going to happen when you are evolving with business and as a person. But one thing that you always need to make sure is that you're always going back to the alignment to your values. You will make decisions based on your beliefs. You'll make decisions based on your values. One thing that I commonly teach to fitness professionals is, you know how to do this, but you need to break down your belief system to actually be able to do it. I've had to do that so many times within business. If you break down your belief system, it'll change how you perceive and how you look at things. The next one is quality materials. You need to be around quality. It's as simple as that. If you are around shit people or a shit environment or shit circumstances, whatever it may be, that's not going to benefit you as a person in any way, shape or form. So your quality materials are going to come down to your relationships, your education and your experience. You cannot avoid quality. You cannot sell sugar. I always say this, like, massively. I hate it when people come in and try and make something look really, really good, but it's really kind of just not great on the inside. Make sure that the actual core environment that you're in is in a quality space. The next one, insulation. This is basically going to be how you can actually protect yourself from external factors coming in. So this may be comments from people. This may be your comparison syndrome. This may be limiting beliefs. You need to know how to actually protect yourself from external factors or internal factors that's going to cause problems for you. The next one is having a sturdy roof, right? You have to have emotional intelligence, right? Emotional intelligence is the single highest value asset on there, in my opinion, because if you have emotional intelligence, you'll have awareness for absolutely everything else that I'm speaking about. If you don't have emotional intelligence and you are narrow-minded or you are quite one-dimensional thinking, you're not going to be able to see things from a different perspective, and that's what business really takes. Right? The next one is drainage, right? When you are building an empire, maintaining an empire and protecting an empire, you are going to experience so much pressure. I cannot even believe it. It's going to be hard emotionally, financially, physically, like mentally, everything, right? You need to know how to get that out of your body. How do you drain out this negative energy so you can still maintain turning up and being a top performing entrepreneur and business owner every single day? How can you drain out the self-doubt and the comparison, because that's a huge element of all this. The next one is your windows. This is basically how you can come in, actually create boundaries to what's happening outside, but also still be able to communicate in a way that you want, which is absolutely massive. You're not going to be able to get along with every single person, so you're going to definitely have to keep boundaries with people who are external to what you're doing. If you've got an open door policy and open windows and people just coming in and out as they feel, and you've not protected your energy space, but you've not seen what's out there, you're going to be at a loss in a weak area straight away, right? And then finally, we're coming in when you've got ventilation, right? This is coming in, you've got problem solving, right? Building an empire, maintaining an empire and protecting an empire is not a simple process in any way, shape or form. You're going to have to go out your way to understand that problems are not problems, they are there to be solved, right? So that is going to come down to how you can control that. And the single most important element of this video I want to talk about is maintenance, right? That's one of the biggest mistakes that I've personally made as a professional and a business owner, is once I've got to a point where I've got strong foundations and I've got good values and got good beliefs, or I've got to a point where I've got good people around me, relationships, education, and I've built all this stuff, is thinking that it's all fine and dandy, right? It's not in any way, shape or form. Maintaining basically everything that you have learned and everything that you experience is the most important thing, because again, all it takes is environmental factors. If you go back to one of my first videos on here, spoke about environmental factors. It might be the sunny and you're going out and you're sunbathing, snowboarding in snow, or for example windy, kite surfing, whatever it may be. It's the same environment. What happens, you might have something change with your personal environment, your business environment, you might have something change with your mental environment, whatever it may be. You need to have awareness to understand that, right, I need to maintain what I am doing. This is not just about having all of this and going, right, sweet, I've ticked that box, I'm sweet, I'm going to leave it for a few years now. Maintenance is the single most important element of this. So when we're looking at maintenance, that is going to come down to you reviewing your values, reviewing your beliefs. It's going to come down to communicating clearly. It's going to come down to understanding what you need to do with your own routine, your own training. If you need to be looking at offloading how you feel to other people or speaking to professionals, because again, you are going to be under pressure, and I can highly guarantee you and promise you, the people who can maintain 85% versus the people who go 100% all in out, 100% all in out, the 85% people are going to earn the most. They are going to create the biggest empires, the biggest castles on the hills. All start starting with having their own house in order, right? These are skills that I will dramatically go into with our clients and within our program, because I can teach people how to do something, but if they've not got the headspace and the understanding, the awareness and the perception and the open-mindedness to look at what is out there, you are only ever going to be in a closed loop situation. If you're in a closed loop situation, you're going to be in that shack, sitting on your own, not very happy, and that's not what we want. Got to think bigger picture. You've got to open that paradox and break it down and look at what is next. And this all starts with you as a person, the foundations to who you are, the quality of the people that you surround yourself with, how well you protect yourself from internal and external environments, what type of emotional intelligence that you've got to understand everything that's happening, how you can drain negative emotions out of your system, building out obviously clear structure where you can perceive and also kind of keep distance between you and everyone else. And then finally is understanding that this whole process is always going to come back down to problem solving. Problems are inevitable, right? Solutions are there and they are always there when you do not see problems as just a straight roadblock. So again, guys, if you want to build an empire, get your own house in order first. Do not be that person who thinks that you can scale like this. You cannot scale if your house is in order like that. If your house is like that, it is going to get blown down. It's going to get broken down. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be good. If you want to build something like this, it comes down to the foundations of how you are acting yourself, how you are behaving, and how much awareness that you've got for yourself. Get your own house in order, or as Jordan Peters would say, clean your room, which I think is an incredible statement which just represents so many different messages. If you want to know more information about what we do and how we help people, and I'm massive with this type of stuff within our program, then there's a link somewhere in my bio. If you've liked this video, drop it a like. If you're not subscribing, subscribe. If you want any more specific videos, just drop it into the comments and I'll build on request. See you next time.